Hello! Welcome back to another video. My name is Diva and I'm a freelance artist in New Zealand. Today's video is a really chill, relaxed sketch with me video. I filmed this at the end of like a busy night and all I wanted to do was just sketch in my sketchbook and not have to think about it. I am referencing some girlies, some cute aesthetic outfit kind of girlies from Pinterest, so I can link down my Pinterest board if you guys are curious. That is literally where I get everything from. I owe Pinterest my life. So when I was filming this, it was around the time period where which I still am currently, but planning and designing shop products. So that would be prints and stickers for an upcoming shop launch that I will be doing. So I was feeling kind of burnt out, like trying to come up with designs and also stressing about the type of mediums that I want to use and how that will show up digitally and if it will be good quality based on like scanning. And so I was just feeling really on edge or tense about art lately, which is why the only thing I wanted to do was really relax and just sketch. And this is why I didn't want to have to think much about it, because I've been thinking so much lately about what I've been drawing, and also for like making content to post. I've also like been just thinking and planning posts for social media. So it was really nice in this video to just sit down and unwind with some loose sketches. So for my sketching process, I think just in general of how I sketch, with whether it be like characters, objects, animals, anything honestly, and I'm sure this is a general rule for most artists, is that you draw in like the basic shapes. So for this girl that I'm drawing right now, I drew in her face. I always like to start with the head when it comes to characters, just so I get a nice placement, but you don't, like, you can do it however you need. But so yeah, I start with like the placement of the head, and then I do like a rough line for the body, like which way the body is facing and the angle. And this is called the line of action, I think that's the concept that it's called. So it's basically just showing like a basic gesture of how the body will look before it's all polished, which is like a big thing with figure drawings and figure studies. So something that I think is key to take away from those is that line of action, so that shows how the body is posed basically. So after I do that like simple line of the angle that the body is facing, I draw in like the very, very rough shape. So for this girl, her body's like more front on, but it's on a bit of like her leg is bent a tiny bit, but her body is generally front on with a bit of like a tilt. So the line of action isn't completely straight, it's a bit curved. And then I draw in the shapes for her as well. So her body type is kind of curvy, so I draw like, I do like quite sharp shapes, but then I round it out, of course, because that is my style at least. And then from there you just begin polishing up the shapes and making them more defined in regards to what you're going for or your reference. And that's pretty much it. And as for shading and different values, I feel like there's not much to explain upon that, because I know that there's different methods that people use for shading and all that, but I just like literally just scribble it in, because I do want to like try like cross-hatching and hatching and stuff more and incorporating that more into my sketches, but also I just don't sketch enough. That is another big thing, is that I want to incorporate more sketching into my just regular sketchbook, because I'm just so fixated on coloring everything because I love color so much. But I don't necessarily think it's good or bad. I think in terms of like improving, I think it's good to sketch more, so that, of course, like if I'm coloring as well, I can improve my coloring and so forth. But to improve my actual drawing skill, of course, I'm gonna need to sketch more. So I do want to incorporate that too into my daily sketchbooking, which will be fun. Okay, so going a bit off of topic here, but not sure what else to talk about, so I think I want to tell you guys about what I've been watching lately. So I have dabbled in a few episodes of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Bro, it is actually so dark. I remember I think I'm only on episode 4 right now, but I think it was the 3rd episode. I don't want to spoil, but it's literally only the 3rd episode as well. And I don't know if you guys, I'm sure most of you have probably watched Full Metal as well anyway, but it was so dark, like out of nowhere. Like I did not expect that, especially because the tone of the show already, like how it started, is kind of like lighthearted, even though there's already like a heavy intro, like basis. But then it gets like, it out of nowhere, even like further down this depth of darkness, and I was like, what? And I was also eating, and it just made me feel like kind of sick, like the scene, and I was like, oh. But of course, this just makes me want to continue watching it, because it's so like out of the blue and just also interesting. So I want to see where that goes, so we'll update you guys on that as well. But before that, I was watching One Piece. I'm like almost up to date. I think I'm still in Wano, which is the current arc. Oh no, now it's at Egghead, so I'm actually a little behind now, but I think the anime is still in Wano at least, so I'm like halfway through Wano, I think. Or like, it's episode 9, or like over 980 probably, I think. But I'm like trying to watch it very slowly, because I don't want to get up to date with the anime, because I only watch the anime, but because I don't want to get up to date, because then I'm gonna have to wait each week for episodes. I'm watching it really slowly. One Piece to me is like an OG anime, or just show in general, because I kind of like, I don't know if I could say grew up watching it, but I've known it since a young age, because my older brother, who showed it to me, or just was watching it, and I just look at the TV, so now I just associate it with like early memories like that. But then on my own later on, I watched it, and I also have rewatched it maybe twice, which is kind of wild, but I literally feel like I'm in a long-term relationship with this show right now, so that's pretty cool. It's just such a comforting show at this point, so sometimes I go back and I just watch some of my favorite arcs. So honestly, it's pretty chill. It is pretty chill. I'm sure you guys also have shows like that where it's just so comforting that you can rewatch it a couple times, and it's like not really like draining or mentally taxing, because it's just something you can put on and you can listen in and out, or just like re-enjoy and re-feel those emotions you felt when you first watched it. And I just get that so much with One Piece too. Like, it can make me cry. Like, no matter how many times I've watched a scene, if I watch it again, I like the same emotions are gonna flood back to me. So I just think that's pretty cool. Oh, also, before I watched One Piece again, because I watch it like on and off, but I also watched Heartstopper on Netflix. So for those of you who don't know, it's actually a book series. I did really want to read the books. It's like a comic book series, I think. But I've always just seen people, like, especially like on BookTube and stuff that have been reading Heartstopper, and then I didn't know, but the second season came out this year, so when that showed up on Netflix, I was like, oh wait, I know this show. I didn't even know that it had a show already, but the newest season came out, and then I watched it and it was actually so good. It was so cute, and the characters just like warm my heart. Like everyone's just so cute and wholesome. Oh my god, and don't even get me started on the ships in the show. Like they were actually so cute. I think I liked the majority of them. I don't think there's any, okay, this is an unpopular opinion probably, but by the end of the show, I think I was getting a little tiny bit bored of the main two. What's their names? Nick and Charlie, that's their names. They were so cute in the beginning, but I think once they just started like dating and then it was progressing, I think I just got a little bit less interested, and I was just more like, because I think the part that like always gets me the most with romance and why I like it so much is like that beginning stage before like they solidify everything, like the two partners, and that's just like the most like captivating and like interesting part. Oh my god, don't even get me started on enemies to lovers, cutest thing ever. But Nick and Charlie, they were really cute together, but yeah, by the end of it I think I was more interested in Elle and Tao, I think that's his name, their relationship, because they were more of a slow burn as well, but a bit slower of course than the main two. And the amount of diversity in the show is just crazy. It's so like refreshing to see as well. And yeah, I just thought that was pretty cool. It was just such a cute show overall. Okay, so I think that pretty much sums up the voiceover portion for the video. I hope you guys are enjoying, and thank you guys so much for all the support recently. It's actually meant so much, and I just can't like express how much it is just so nice of you guys to be so supportive and reach out and comment and like and subscribe and everything on all platforms as well. It's just, I'm immensely grateful for it, and yeah, just thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.